Welcome everyone, Joe with ECRM here at our summer snack session in San Diego. And with me is Scotty, the founder of Mortal Munchies, which has got a mission of making healthy snacking cool. And they're doing this by leading with content and cool branding, including this really cool outfit, which is what grabbed my attention in the first place. So, Scotty, thanks for joining us.
Of course.
Tell us about the brand.
Yeah, so I mean, the brand is Mortal Munchies, and really the reason that we came to making Mortal Munchies, it's single ingredient dried fruit. And the reason that we came up with it is I look at my generation and I look at why we're so sick these days. Like, why do we have gut issues? Why do we have inflammation? Why do we have hormonal issues? And we're all like still in our 30s. Like, what's going on here? And it's because of all the crap that we ate when we were kids, right? And the reason that we ate all that crap and the reason that we ate all of the junk food and the candy and the sugary snacks is because if you're like me, you watched so many cartoons as a kid, and Saturday morning was your time. It was like, get up, mom made pancakes, mom made waffles, mom made eggs, and you ate it, and you had fun, and you engulfed yourself in this like this fun, right? Yeah. And so by the end of the day, it was time for us to go to the grocery store because mom did her shopping on the weekends, and you'd walk by and you were so primed already by all of the stuff that you saw on TV that now it was like, oh, I saw this character, let's buy this. Oh, I saw this character, let's buy this. And you don't even realize what you're eating, you just want the character. And so when I went to the grocery store now as a 31-year-old, I was like, it's the same thing going on. It's like all of the cool stuff is all on the crappy food. And it's like, all right, so let's go over and see what's in the organic, let's see in the single ingredient section. And there was just no cool branding. There was
no, it's not as exciting.
No, nothing grabs your attention. It's like, it's all flat, or it's like a plastic bag that just has some fruit in it. And it was like, all right, like, let's just see what's on there. So you turn the bag around and you'd be like, okay, it's got to be just in single ingredient dried fruit. And you look in it, it's like, it's dried fruit, but then it's sugar, and then it's molasses, and then it's citric acid, and it's all these preservatives to keep the fruit dry. And then you go to the next section and you find a piece of dried fruit, and you'd be like, oh, it's single ingredient, but then you'd open it up and it was like cardboard, or you'd bite into it, it was a rock. And it was like, that's not good either. And so I was like, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna find a way to ultimately get the attention around a brand and make the branding first. And so I started with the branding. Like, my business partners and I were like, let's just make this as crazy and cool and make it around the characters first. And so we made the characters and we kind of like put it live to see what would happen, and it went viral, and it was like, now we've got a great product before we have actually any product.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, let's find a way to make this thing like, let's expand on it. What do I like about dried fruit? Well, I love the fact that it's convenient, I can take it on the go. What do I not like? I don't like the mouthfeel, I don't like the texture, I don't like the flavor, I don't like the fact that like there's too much in a bag, so you only eat a couple and then the rest of it goes to waste.
Yeah.
And so it was basically like just all of the problems that I had in that market, let's just capitalize on the fact that we are the content engine, and then let's just answer all the problems that we have with it. And so just take the problem, find the solution, be the solution at the end of the day. And so we came up with Mortal Munchies. We designed some like really cool characters. We started with like our mangoes, which is like malicious mangoes. It more or less was make the zombie kind of thing.
Yeah.
We then went into bananas. We made barbaric banana, which was kind of like make it like a barbarian. So we put the chains on it. All the way down to cherry bomb. We've got the like little fuses on top of them. And it's like build the brand around the character and then attract the kids to the character so that when they're walking around and they see the character, they're already like invested in it and they want to be a part of it, and they're like, oh, I'm going to get this, I'm going to eat it. And then once you eat it, they're not turned off by it because it's a crappy piece of fruit. This is actually good stuff, and it actually has the flavor, the mouthfeel that we're going for. And so that was kind of where it came to. And then me being in the background and kind of like coming in as like the influencer back, I've worked with over 150 brands over my career and been the face of all these companies. And I was like, I can ultimately just scale this thing because I understand that content is king.
Yes.
Right? Because in the world that we're in right now, if you're not leading by content, you're going to fall behind. And so let's actually make these guys into a story. Let's make YouTube videos. Let's make like them actually have a voice and have a like something that actually grabs attention and really scales. And through doing that, we've been able to just scale quick and scale hard, and we have the media backing and we know what we're doing in that side, and then the brand just sells itself because at the end of the day, you fall in love with the characters, the product is great, and then that's the end of it.
Yeah. As a content person for ECRM, I 100% agree with you on there. It's great to build that engagement with the audience, and then once you have that engagement, there's so many things you could add to it. But again, without a good product, it falls apart, and the products are really good. I demolished another bag. So I've gone through a cherry and I did the blueberry.
Whenever you want more.
Both are amazing. But also what you said about the mouthfeel, it's really, how do you get that? Do you do something in particular to really maintain that mouthfeel with just having a single ingredient?
Yeah, well, it comes down to how you dry fruit out, right? At the end of the day, like people either over dry it because it's easier just to dry it to a pulp and then you just put out organic dried fruit and it's dried fruit, or you don't dry it enough and then it's soggy and wet and then it molds.
Yeah.
So it's like we went through a process of finding a way to actually dry it to a point where it actually keeps the moisture, but it doesn't mold, and that's the fine balance of it, right? And so it takes a lot of testing and a lot of like breakdown and like trial and error, but once you find it, you find it. And like I said, I was a candy kid growing up, so I wanted all my favorite candies to mimic this. So when you get into the mangoes, I loved Airheads, so when you eat this, it's going to feel like an Airhead eating it, but it tastes like mango, and it's one ingredient. When you get into the bananas, it's like, I love Starburst, so it's gonna have that Starburst kind of like, it punches a little bit, but as you chew it, it gets soft and squishy. With the cherries, my favorite thing of all time is Gushers. So I was like, if I'm gonna eat this, it's gotta have like that Gusher pop. But a lot of times what people get wrong with cherries is they either over dry them to the point where when you're chewing on it, it turns into like that prune kind of taste, or it tastes like a little burnt. Ours just tastes like cherries through and through. So it's like, it's all about the process, and I think too many people, like, they don't put enough into making the product what they need, and they're just like, let's just put out a product. It's like, I'm not gonna put something out there that I don't care about. You know, at the end of the day, we're gonna find the best of the best. That's why we source our stuff. Our mangoes are from Peru. Every bite that you take is gonna be exactly the same. You're not gonna have one that tastes one way and one that tastes another way.
Yeah, that consistency is important too. And what I noticed, it's almost like with the cherry, it's almost like that gummy bear texture, a gummy candy texture, which people like, that mouthfeel. So now this is your first time at an ECRM session. You've met with retailers, buyers from different channels of retail. I saw a convenience store one just leaving earlier. So how's your experience? What kind of feedback are you getting?
It's been insane. I think like one of the things that's kind of cool about it is we're getting so many, like you said, we're meeting with different people. So we'll have a convenience store and they'll tell us that they need something from the brand to ultimately sell the best, because they're the buyers. They know what they need, and so they're telling us what they need. And so I, as a business owner, am able to go like, oh, this is what is going to sell my product better. Take it back to the sounding board and just redo it. Like one of the biggest ones that kept coming back and forth is, you know, we have 3 like servings in each one of the bags, but everybody goes like, oh, you're priced at $4.99. That's a little expensive for 1 serving. It's like, oh no, it's actually got 3 servings. So we have to be a little bit better with the branding and make that message clear. You know, it wasn't clear enough. And then other brands, like, you know, we were talking to a couple of like airlines, and they're like, we would love it, but we just need it smaller. And it's like, okay, cool. How can I condense this a little bit? And it's like, you're getting so much feedback that it's like, it's not just about me selling the product. It's ultimately getting what I need to do as a seller to ultimately get the buyer to want to buy more from me.
And that's part of the process. That's just people realize it's not a knock on your product. That's part of the process of getting on a shelf, because it's got to be right for that particular retailer.
100%.
And then one thing that I noticed, right, when we talked before about like sometimes in organic products, or the packaging is just showing the fruit in a clear plastic. Well, you have the great packaging, the great design, but you didn't neglect that.
100%.
I noticed this before. You do have the windows so that, you know, you can see it in there. So I just wanted to point that out, because I just noticed it when I was digging into the blueberry one.
Yeah, and it's so important because people want to see what they're eating, right? And that's a big part for me. Is like, I love the fact that you can get like dried fruit, but if you squeeze like a traditional cherry and it leaves like that residue, you know it's going to be gooey. I want you to be able to squeeze the cherry and see that it falls off and there's no residue. You know, and so you actually, because everything comes down to your senses. If you can see something, you kind of already know what it's going to taste like, smell like, whatever. You know, so I'm trying to encapsulate all of your senses into one product, so you don't have to guess. That's the biggest thing here.
Excellent. So last question, where are you going from here?
Going everywhere. I think like there's no stopping the health train. I think like in the world that we're in right now, everybody is dying for health. Everybody's like, and it sounds funny to say it like that, but you know, we've literally got people dying from sicknesses, and it ultimately, like, what you eat is like that first caveat, you know, it's that first thing that's going to get you going. So I want to get this into as many hands as possible. I want it to get it on the market as big as possible, to show people that eating healthy food can be cool, first of all, for your kids, for you. It can be a full family thing. And also, it doesn't have to be boring. You know, it can actually have a little bit of like fun behind the branding. And then there's so much more you can do in the snack space. So I mean, we're fruit right now. We can go into jerky, we can go into nuts, we can go into all these different things. Just keep it healthy, keep it fun, keep it organic, and ultimately just lead by example in the space of, you need attention. How can I get as much attention as I possibly can?
Awesome. Well, I wish you the best of luck in your follow-ups, and I'm sure the buyers that you met with are definitely going to remember these meetings.
It's been a blast. I'm excited for more of them.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.